Hey guys, it's Andrew from FloryPB, and this is a quick start to the next video. I got really excited with the PBX Auto Rocker video. When I was taking apart the Mac valve, the Mac 44 that's in the PBX Auto Rocker, I realized that these valves, these Mac valves, the 33s, the Mac 33s, which you see in the Ions, the new upgraded Shocker RTX, or whatever the hell they are, those are, Ions with Ion Mac valves in, which is a Mac 33 valve. The Mac 43s, which started being made in paintball form, but I don't think a marker ever really used these particular ones. There's just a bunch of them that Wasp made a long time ago, or got made a long time ago. And this is a Mac 43, so it's a 5-way or a 4-way valve. And then you've seen the Mac 44 that I just did in the PBX Auto Rocker video, which is just a bigger one of these, flows more air, but it's just a bigger Mac 43. And Mac 43s and Mac 44s are fairly common and easy to find, new and used. And once you think about it, it's really just the world's smallest 3-way, because the stroke is legitimately nothing. The stroke is about this light, because it's a sprung return noid with the 3-way in it. So it has a very, very tiny stroke. Let me see if let me try to throw a little setup together and put a little air to it so you can see what's happening. But it's a very tiny stroke, which is what you want. And hold on a second. So real quickly, I just put a valve on the, or I just put a fitting on the center inlet valve there. And I have this attached to just this Autococker LPR. If I turn the air on, it's pissing out the front hole. If I press this button, it stops pissing out the front and starts pissing out the back hole. So, realistically, I don't even need this part. I just need the valve itself, this little part here. And you have the world's smallest, or, paintball's smallest actual functioning 3-way. You might want this part here just because it's easy to actuate. It's a bigger thing. But I'm going to introduce a gun in a second. Let me go grab it. It's in the parts pile. We put it on this bench here. And I'll show you what I'm thinking of. Give me 1 second. Alright guys, here is the marker in question. Or the marker is my thought process is behind. This is a Dark Mark. Bob Long Marq I, or Warped Sportz Dark Mark, we're going to say. An H2K barrel from Warped Sportz. Probably the actual rarest part of this is that barrel. But, yeah, it's a marker that I disassembled a while ago-ish, because I can't remember the problem that was on it. But it's just an older electro that's just going to sit in a box, because I have really no use for it anymore. But I'm thinking, with this Mac valve showing that it's the world's smallest, well, paintball's smallest 3-way, why don't I just make this a mech using the Mac valve as my 3-way switch, instead of trying to get one of those Clippers, Smavs, or the Fabco 1-way or 3-way valves in there. Use the actual appropriate 5-way valve. Make a plate that just has 3 barbs in it to replicate where the noid goes, and just go from the trigger frame there with 3 hoses. Makes sense? I think it does, at least. So let's pull this apart and see how practical this idea is. I'm just kind of going off the, off what I can think of. I have Bob Long's Model 98 here. Or, sorry. Bob Long's Ebolted Model 98. The Mark, which is an inline poppet. So it should be probably a decent marker to do this to. I don't think dwell matters as much as momentum. So the ram's just going to go up. The other problem with this, I remember, is this is one of those Tadao or Tadao boards. Tadao, I call it. Fuck saying Tadao. Screen's dead. So Get you out of there. Screen's dead on the board. But I think there's plenty of room. Damn. Can you fit? I think it can without this portion on it. It almost fits perfect right up in there. There's a little bit of a... I think if we melt this back portion of this frame here, we'll be able to slip this down in there. And just actually use the screw to actuate the trigger, actuate this directly maybe. Or maybe we'll make a little thing that goes in between them, because I think I got enough room. Let me see if I can. So if you can see there, the actual set screw on the trigger goes back, and I think I can bring that up forward. We might be able to directly fire this bastard off of that if we just machine this out a little bit, the trigger carrier, a tiny bit. Let's pull the trigger out. Let's see what we'd have to do up here first. But I think that's viable. I really think it is. That's so fucking dumb how they did this. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh. I just can't believe that it's still the same kind of setup. Wow. Bob Long sometimes, man. Well, all the time. But see, I'd almost say we could reuse the valve that's in here, but these valves don't have a spring return. They're air returned. But if we just make a plate, or if we want to, we can just drill and tap this for it. But assuming we don't want to ruin the marker, we just make a plate with 2 holes with 2 barbs, and then 2 holes for 2 set screws. Then we have the whole setup that we need right there. Extend this line from the LPR down into the grip frame, into our MAC valve. And then to have 2 lines coming out the bottom, snaking up around the side or the back or something like that. There's plenty of room in the frame to snake the lines. Have them snake up, go to our 2 ports that we make, and boom, you have a mech mark. So let's just get rid of the eyes, see how bad the ball detents look in this guy. Pull the bolt out. And we'll go from there, and we'll, assuming this all works, and I'm not just, you know, going nuts here. I can make the reg perform a little nicer. Oh, very nice. 4 CIs. These are always been decent ball detents, I thought. Beat the hell out of the old Timmy ones. I like solid detents. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that before. Oh yeah, it's in good shape. I'll give him credit where credit's due. This wasn't too bad with the 4C setup, the 4i setup with the pigtail plugs on both ends. That was fairly solid. I mean, obviously companies now do it a little nicer with just the no connector setup, just the press-on connectors, but that was damn nice for this era of marker, I think. Good for him on that one. That worked out really well. Made a choice, I'm making a second choice, it's going to be wrong. It's wrong. Make a third choice, it's going to be wrong. Ooh. Right in the middle. There you go. Yeah. Hey, the pillow's still in it. Ooh. I forgot the old ones did that. What a tipman. Holy shit. I forgot they did that on this generation. It's just a tipman. It's just a poor fire pattern through it. Sorry, Ebolt tipman. Super convenient, though. Got the spring. And the hammer section. This shaft goes forward, pushes the bolt forward, smacks into this. This pushes this forward, releases the air, and down the tube she goes. It's a Mark with a power tube. I don't even want to take out his keyed setup he did back here. This all works. I know the bolt wasn't leaking, so I don't think I'll rebuild the ram, but let's do more surgery before we just try to make the marker work again, I guess. And this is somewhat exciting, I think. I always thought this was a cool marker, but I was never actually able to use it for the longest time. Yeah, and that touches that too. Oh yeah, that fits in there nice. So if I can get this forward exactly right, all you have to do is hit that, and it has to go that much. That's all it needs to do. is just push a tiny bit. So let's see if we can make that work. We need to lose a little bit, and not even much. Just a touch. I might even lose it on the valve instead of the actual frame. So if I lose it on the valve, because I have a little bit of clearance room there. So if I just machine down the valve edges there, because I don't really care about those screws, I can have her slip in the frame pretty decently. Get down to about that point there. And I need to make some kind of connector plate, but that's not that bad. What about you? Nah, you're not going to be useful. But I have these two holes here that are threaded. That could be used potentially. Hold that bastard in place. Yeah. All right, let me take a couple dimensions and see how much I gotta take off this guy. Sorry about that. Let me take a couple dimensions, see how much I gotta take off of this to get it where it needs to be. Let's rough this in. I appreciate they went for the hidden screws on these, but so that would be fully pressed. I probably don't want to be that pressed. Jeez. So yeah, I'm just going to take a little bit off, right to the 5, so we have some room to slide. And that's all we're going to do. Alright, so let me set this up in the mill. I'm going to machine the two sides down real quick. I don't think I'm going to put it on camera. It's going to take me longer to bring this camera up there and set it up on the mill than to just do this. So I'll be right back with this thing machined down a little bit, see if it slips in. And we're gonna have to make some kind of plate to mount it to one of these two trigger frame screw holes, maybe both of them, depending on what we do. But I think we can get this in there and actuating that, and that'd be pretty cool. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I have it in here just finger tight, just holding it down. I got it in the right spot. And that would be the actuation. I could feel it fully actuate. And that's the trigger pull. Might even be walkable, I don't know. But it's not too heavy. Might get a little heavier with air. But that's where the valve's going to end up sitting. Just right in there. Going to have to make a plate that semi-mimics this. Comes off the bottom mount and goes up. I don't really care about any of that stuff. But goes up enough to get to this point here, so I'm gonna just trace this out on a sheet of aluminum and make a plate this thickness relatively, because that's that thickness, I think. Yeah. So I'll make a plate, then get 2 screw holes, mark, drill, tap, and she's mount it. That might be the last thing I do. Before that, I'm ending this part of this video here. I'm gonna keep it all as one video. I'm not gonna do separate videos on this, obviously, because you know how we just like to go long on this one. So the next thing I do, I'm done for tonight with this, but I'll put this back together, make it a functional mark again, and then we'll give it a test with this. We'll machine the plate to go here, or do we just tap it? I don't know. Am I ever gonna consider making this? That's too tight. We're gonna make a plate. We'll make the plate next. That goes here. I'll take some dimensions. I'll use that little ghetto cam on the mill. Make a plate, pop these in, put that on, put everything together, test it, then try to assemble this completely, and hopefully when we're done we have a mechanical mark, or dark mark. I am going to throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner and get it cleaned up a little bit, just because it's a little dirty. Not bad, but a little dirty. Alright, that's it for tonight's portion of this video. Let me make this a series. So this is the first video. Second one is going to be making the plate and getting things going. Alright, so yeah, a little different for the summer, guys. I'm kind of excited about this. We'll get this going. Alright guys, that's it for now. See ya.